What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode, the Center Court Podcast. I'm your co-host, Colin. To my left is Caleb. We want to welcome you guys back. Hope you enjoyed this episode. First off, I want to start by saying, how are you? Let's just check in with each other. How's life? What's going on? How's
It's
everything going?
it's good. Today's my daughter's second birthday, so shout out to Amaya. Happy birthday! I'm super excited. I'm ready for this episode, man. I'm hyped. How about you? How are you doing?
First off, happy birthday, Amaya. Definitely want to shout that out. But I'm good. This coaching stuff kind of got me stressed a little bit, if I'm being honest. But I mean, that comes with the territory. So, but other than that, I'm good. I can't complain. God is still good. So we're here. So let's get right
For
into
sure.
it. How do you feel about the national championship? How do you think things went? What are your thoughts?
That was actually a better game than I expected.
Mhm.
Whenever I saw that it was Michigan and UConn, I was like, "Uh oh, Michigan's gonna." After what Michigan did to Arizona, I was like, "It's gonna be a kind of a beatdown."
Mhm.
But UConn kept it close, man. They surprised me. They really did. They played their butts off. I was really proud of the way they played, in my opinion.
Mhm.
It wasn't perfect by any means, but um, man, Michigan, they're good. They were super good this year. They deserve that natty. Um, but yeah, overall, I don't have too much to talk on it, but man, those guys, I was really impressed with Elliot Cadeau and how he improved after transferring to Michigan. North Carolina, I know he struggled to shoot the three, so he impressed me a lot this year, and I think he was the leading scorer in that game, so that shocked me a little bit. But yeah, overall, I was really impressed with Michigan and really impressed with how that game was. Yeah, it was a good game by UConn too.
I agree. I think Michigan's size really impacted UConn. You could tell that the size advantage they really used that down the stretch. But UConn played well, but I expected that. They're always in this position. They're well coached. They have been in this position before, so I expected them to come out hard and compete from the jump. But you know, Michigan has players 25, so you can't really compete with those guys. They've been around for a while, so I feel like they were definitely ready for the moment a little bit more than UConn was. But I have no doubt that UConn will be back in the same situation, or maybe even be the champions next year. You never know. But it definitely was a good game.
Oh yeah,
Definitely was a good game. I
heck yeah.
uh, I saw an interview that Dusty May did, and he was like, they had a press conference and they went back to Michigan and celebrated for like 2 days. Then right after that, it was like right back to recruiting. Like who's next? Like who's in the portal? Where do I go from here? Like, which is so crazy to think about. It's almost like free agency. It's like you're like recruiting your kids to stay, and you got to recruit other kids to come with you. So it's just honestly crazy. It's like buying kids at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the transfer portal's wild. When you see like there was like 6,000 total throughout Division One and Division Two that entered the portal. Some crazy number like that in the first day that it was open, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's literally free agency. So yeah, it's crazy. It's got to be so hard to build a team in today's age with the transfer portal. So those guys that go out and you know like the Dusty Mays and win with these guys. Granted, he's recruiting really well, um, but with that being said, like winning at the rate that he has through all of the places he's been. He won at FAU, went to the national championship there, and then uh, now with Michigan. So I applaud him for sure.
With that being said, though, what do you think the recipe for winning is? Do you think it's go find talent in the portal, or do you think you should just develop the talents you already have and help these guys stick it 3 to 4 years and then see what you get? Or do you feel like you could just go buy like the top players and just roll the ball out and let them play?
Um, I mean, yeah, you definitely could like go and get the best players and win a ton of games, but winning championships, like I feel like you got to have like a good balance of that on your team of guys that are there for they stick it out, and then the guys that are brand new and switch teams every time you blink. But man, that's I've actually been thinking about this a lot lately, and I really think that this makes it so hard on coaches because, especially player development side, and we'll probably talk about that here in a little bit. But whenever whenever you get this freshman in, 5-star freshman, he's either A, going to the NBA, or B, if he has a bad year, he's probably entering the portal. So it's like, how much time do you want to invest if they don't immediately just start hooping? You know what I mean? So that's such a tough spot for coaches, in my opinion, to keep those really high recruits happy, but also like win games. Like it's super hard there. But I want to get your thoughts there too.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely feel like obviously the top tier talent is going to be in the portal, but at some point you got to have a loyalty to the guys that chose you originally. Like I feel like your
Oh,
loyalty should lie some with them, and then if they don't, feel they're respected, then you go out and recruit from the portal. But I definitely feel like you should develop the talent that's in your house already. I feel like that
oh,
that
I
should be the key.
I
I
agree.
also feel it from like a player perspective though, because like think about it. If you're a high school kid, you're not their first thought anymore. Like their first thought is to go in the portal. They're not looking at high school kids. They're not going to AU tournaments as much as they were to get high school kids. They're going in the portal first, and then they could go the JUCO route, and then you're like, the third option. So I mean, it's just becoming harder and harder and harder to get those scholarships as a high school student.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there's just so much that goes into it there. I don't, and so such a unique thought process between each coaches or each coach and each coaching staff as far as like player development and stuff. But I do completely agree with you. In my opinion, I think I would just go all out for the guys that chose me from the jump. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into the portal moves nowadays and that kind of thing. So, but um,
What do
our
you
old
think about like the restraints that should be on NIL? Like, what rules do you think they should implement to like help combat people just going to school 1 year, transferring for more money? Like, what do you think they could do? Because I feel like it's only gonna get worse from here. Like, it's bad now, but think about it 5 to 10 years from now, how bad it could be once the game continues to grow and more kids are getting more money. I feel like it'll get bad.
Oh yeah, for sure. Really, what I think, um, I mean, the NCAA screwed up from the jump, just like letting it be free reign. But I do think athletes should be paid. Obviously, I'm not saying that because I remember how tough it was when we were playing, and just like I had a job. I actually worked two different jobs while we were playing and stuff, so that was not easy. But um, for me, what I think they should do is I think they need to initiate like contracts, go more to the uh, NBA style or pro style, where you sign a contract, you stick with this team for this long, and you agree to those terms from the jump. You know those terms from the jump. You break that contract, you got to pay whatever back or do whatever you needs to be done within that the means of that contract. But that's kind of what I think should be done at this point. And I think that should be initiated by either the NCAA or by the conferences. So but I definitely think something needs to be done because I mean, the teams with the deep pockets, they're going to keep getting better. They're just going to keep getting better, and that makes it super hard for the smaller schools, the mid majors. That's why in the past few years, in my opinion, I don't think we've seen as many upsets in March as we had previously. Is because they're paying the guys to come there. They're getting these super teams in college, and but that's a whole another topic. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts too. Um,
I definitely agree. I definitely feel like it should be contract style. I feel like if you don't meet the certain amount of games on your contract, you don't get paid. I feel like it needs to be incentivized too. You need to score a certain amount of points or average a certain amount of rebounds in order for you to get your money. I don't feel like it should just be free money. No. But don't get me wrong, I am for the players getting paid because I know if I was in that position, I would want to get paid. I know how we struggled in JUCO. Not saying we would have got paid, but I know how it is
Right.
to struggle as a college student. So I understand wanting to get paid, but it's a double-edged sword. Like at some point, you have to contribute to. We're not just giving you free money, and you just feel like you could sit out. Like I just that doesn't sit right with me. And as a competitor, you should want to play each and every game. Like you're on the biggest stage. Why wouldn't you want to compete and show everyone that you're worth the money that you're getting?
Oh yeah.
It's very frustrating though. With that being said, though, what do you feel about like player development? Like if you're a recruit, which school would you want to go to? Which school is notable for developing their players and sending their guys to the league?
So right now it's Dusty May, in my opinion. He had Danny Wolf last year, the 7-footer who could handle the ball really well, and he ended up being a first round pick from being he was playing at Yale or Harvard one, something like that, and then ended up being a first round pick, and then um, like and then Ade Mara. I know I mentioned him a lot over the past few weeks, but I watched him at UCLA and I was like, dude, he might have a little potential. And then I didn't expect him to go to Michigan and have the season he had. And then same with Lindeborg. I didn't expect him to have the season that he had. I was really impressed with the player development that he had, even over a 1 year span. Now, with that being said, he only had him for a year. But if I was to play for a guy for 4 years, I would probably want a guy like. I hate that he's not coaching anymore. I would have loved Jay Wright. I'm a big Jay Wright fan. Um, oh man, that's a tough one. As far as like if I'm staying a 4 year span, probably what's his name? Why might I go blank? The guy from Arizona. Uh,
Oh,
uh, what is his name? Oh my gosh. Tommy Lloyd. Tommy Lloyd. I don't know why I couldn't think, but man, what he's done with those guys there, and they typically stay and play for him too. So that's really good. But overall, I would probably go to one of those two places, and don't count out UConn too. Obviously, they were in the Natty too. So and yeah, what's his name rubs me wrong, but he can develop guys, man. He
yeah.
really can. He really can, like Stephon Castle, and he's got all kinds of dudes in the league now. Um, but yeah, what about you?
Obviously, if I'm a guard, I want to play for Cal. He just has the notoriety, the resume, the
Duh.
like.
Sure.
It's proven. It's the proof is in the pudding. If you want to be a first round guard, go to wherever Cal is.
For
John
sure.
Wall, Booker, Shea. The list just goes on and on.
Oh yeah.
But if I'm a wing forward, I like the job Duke has done. I know John Shire's in his
Oh yeah.
second year, but Duke has notably sent out wings and forwards to the league. You got Paolo, you got Zion, you got Grant Williams, Ingram, Tatum. Like the list just goes on and on. So if I'm a wing and I want to be developed the right way, I feel like Duke is definitely the right way to go. If I'm staying all 4 years, I'm definitely thinking about UConn. I know I'm not
Yeah.
the biggest Dan Hurley fan. I think he's a bit of a maniac in a sense, but I guess you got to be a maniac to be a head coach at this level. But he definitely knows what he's doing. The championship team he had with Stephon Castle and Donovan Clingan that's now playing for the Blazers. I definitely think he knows what he's doing. UConn, Cal, Duke. Trying to think, Houston, I think is a good program too. They
Mhm.
don't have a lot of stars in NBA, but if you want to be developed and learn to play the right way and play hard defensively, I think Kelvin Sampson is a great, great, great coach to play for. I definitely think he develops talent. Um, and yeah, I definitely think those schools are known for developing talent. But then again, now kids aren't going to be developed. They're going to just play for a year and then just head to the draft or just get that NIL for a year and then head to the draft. So I definitely feel like those schools will help develop you in this stage of your career.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I also, man, I don't know how I forgot about Cal and Shire for that matter. Don't know how I forgot about those guys, but I also wanted to mention Todd Golden, yeah, he's kind of a not my cup of tea, but man, the development that he's had with his guards too, he's been really really good with his guards, and even his forwards too. I mean, he has two potential top 20 picks right now in this year's draft, so we'll see.
Speaking of college, though, what do you think about the Mike Malone hire? What do you think about North Carolina heading in a different direction and going outside of the typical North Carolina family tree and going and getting Mike Malone off his couch? What do you think about that?
So I actually kind of like it. You know, I'm glad they didn't go within the family now because I kind of mentioned it in the last one, but how there were so many different levels of North Carolina were tied into that coaching staff, the previous coaching staffs, that I don't know that anyone wanted that job. That was in that Carolina tree, just because they didn't want to like smack Hubert in the face kind of deal. But Mike Malone, I mean, he's a proven winner. His player development's been great. He obviously helped develop LeBron in Cleveland, which he was pretty developed when he got there, but uh, as well as Steph and Klay Thompson. He was on the coaching staff there from like 2011 to 2013. So his player development's great, and I think that's going to be really good for North Carolina. Now I've got to see what he does after sitting on the couch again for a couple years because they have two guys that are like that now. They had Bill Belichick, and now they got um,
That's
now
a
they got
very,
Mike
very
Malone.
valid point. I was just going to bring that up. That's a very, I'm
Yeah,
glad you said it. That's a very valid point. I definitely feel like this could potentially be another situation like that where it's like he has a great resume, but does it translate to the college level? I mean, like
yeah,
these are two totally different coaches, and it's two totally different players you're dealing with. Like
oh yeah,
professional athletes have a family to feed. They're really locked in and dedicated. These kids are just getting NIL and going shopping. Like that's not saying basketball isn't important to them, but the priorities are definitely different from NFL and NBA to the college level. But I definitely think that I think it's a good hire. I think Mike is proven to be a winner. He's proven to develop talent. He knows how to work with stars. He knows that, and he's been at this position before.
yeah,
I mean, he's won at the highest level in the NBA. So I mean, like, I don't think March Madness would be, that too tough for him to compete in. And I feel like he might be able to get North Carolina back to that Roy Williams, North Carolina, to the point where they're like recruiting, getting top tier talent, and being in a running each and every year. It'd be definitely interesting to see like how he turns around the program. I'm excited for him though. I'm
yeah. Me too.
excited.
Me
Definitely,
too.
definitely excited.
I saw they actually. It kind of shocked me because a lot of their guys were hitting the portal or asking off of their NLI, National Letter of Intent. But one four-star so far, one four-star said, "Yeah, I'm committed to North Carolina. Like I'm sticking with them." And he's right now. I believe he was the best recruit that they had committed. So that's big time to keep him in that move. You know.
Yeah, and if I'm a big, I want to go play for Mike Malone. He's been around Jokic. He knows what it's like to play at the MVP level. He may could give you some tips, some pointers to like. Not saying he's gonna turn you into Jokic, but he could
Yeah.
steer you in the right direction to make sure your game is like headed towards that NBA level. He's been
Oh
around the
yeah.
way. Jokic's a two-time, three-time MVP, two-time,
Yeah.
three-time.
Something three-time, I think. Yeah.
So I mean, he definitely knows what it's like to be around that level of talent. So I feel like as a recruit, I would want to be around that and soak all the information in before I go to the NBA for sure.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
definitely excited.
Same here.
Definitely excited. Now let's transition to more of some NBA hoops, man. I know that the play-in tournament is starting this week. Playoffs are ramping up. Um, Regular season is coming towards an end, and some of the first round games are already made, but the play-in tournament is definitely where we're headed to next. What are your thoughts as far as the play-in? Who are you rooting for? Who you think? Who do you trust? What are your thoughts?
So my team's in the play-in. Got the Warriors in there. So Steph's back. He's fully healthy. Granted, they're the 10 seed, so they got the toughest path probably to get into the actual playoffs. But I always got to say my Warriors, man. I'm a big Warriors guy. Um, Along those lines, though, as far as like on the East, I wouldn't sleep on the Hornets. You know, they're the 9 seed too, but I really like them and how they're playing right now. And they have fun, man. I really like watching them play. LaMelo, Canuple, um, Brandon Miller. Shout out to Nashville.
615, baby.
615. Uh, really like the Hornets though. I think they might pop off a little bit. But I'm super excited for these playing games and the playoffs. Dude, I'm ready to go.
What are your if I know you're a Warriors fan, but
Yeah.
if you're Steph, obviously as a competitor you want to go to the playoffs.
Oh
But
yeah.
if you're Steph dealing with the team that you have, would you want to go to the playoffs? You got to see OKC first round. I mean, it's not gonna be pretty. But like, if you're Steph, would you want to, would you want to go to the playoffs, or would you want to, vacation a little early?
So I mean, as a competitor, absolutely. You want to go to the playoffs, you know what I mean? But like for Steph and his health, it's probably best if they don't go because he's been battling injuries all year and he's getting up, he's getting older. Um, but I want to see him in the playoffs. I think him as a competitor too. I think he's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to play as well as Draymond too. I think Draymond, like every ounce of him, he's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to play kind of deal. Um, I don't know. I've got to see. I'm curious to see this Clippers game because again, Steph has been rested. He's very rested. I mean, coming off of an injury, and he had a really good game against their last game. I don't even remember his first game back, um, but he had like 30 something off the bench. So
Mhm.
I'm curious to. I don't know. I'm curious to see how he plays.
I mean, I think it's obviously good for basketball to see Steph in the playoffs. Who wouldn't want to see, Steph shooting and lighting it up in the playoffs? But from a health standpoint, and then from a team standpoint, I don't know if I want to
Yep.
continue to play. And then you got to see OKC in the first round, them coming off a championship. They first seed in the West. They already are rolling and have um, that chemistry with each other. So I don't know if I want to see that, but it definitely should be interesting to see. Definitely. What do you think about the other playing games? What do you think about who else is in the play? What are the
The
other
the Suns Trailblazers play. That should be a good one too. That's the 7-8 seed in the West. The you know I kind of like the Suns in this game though. I kind of like I just like the Suns in general. I've kind of always been pulling for the Suns, but I would love to see the Blazers make it. You know they got Shaden Sharp and uh, and Jeremy Grant. They've been playing really well this year, so I'm excited to see how they play. And then obviously you got D Book on the Suns, so seeing this matchup's really going to be interesting. Which the loser of this game still gets another shot, um, making it into that last seed against OKC. But the winner they move on to play the Spurs. So we'll see how it. Yeah, I know. We'll see how it goes. Regardless, I think whoever any of these two play-in games, they're going to have a rough path to make it past the first round, in my opinion. San Antonio is insane, and then OKC, like you said. So I don't see any of these teams in the West that are in the playing game. I don't see them making it very far. And that hurts
Yeah,
me to say, but I just don't see
I
it.
definitely think the Suns should handle their business with the Blazers. I didn't even think the Blazers would make it this far.
Right.
And they should be proud that they have been. I think this year is just like to see what you got, go out there and play hard, and then next year prepare to have Dame come back, and then we can go from there. But I definitely feel like the
Oh,
Suns should take advantage of it. And then on the East side, what do you think about the 76ers in Orlando playing game?
I, I like this, and we talked a little bit about Paul George. I think it was in our last episode. It might have been in our first one, but the and how he's been playing coming back. from his suspension. He's been hooping. So, uh,
Yes.
I'm really excited to see this game. And then obviously, in Magic, they got Bankero and uh, Baines. So I'm really excited to see this game. The East, honestly, these games interest me way more than the West games, even as a Warriors fan, just because I think the competitiveness. I think it's it's going to be a little more competitive, and I could see these teams potentially making a run farther than the. Um, we'll have to see because they run into the Celtics and Pistons would be who these two teams match up with, but I don't know. I see these teams being more competitive in my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I Joel Embiid just had surgery though, didn't he? So I don't even know if he's gonna be able to play potentially. But if he doesn't play, I think it'll be a good game. But I have the 76ers putting it out. I think Maxi's been playing well. I think Paul George's been playing well. They have enough pieces around them to get them over the hump. And I just Orlando's been so up and down. They showed that they were going to be so promising in the beginning of the year, and then injuries happened, and I don't feel like Paolo took that next step that he should have took. I think their guard play could improve. So I'm definitely pulling for the 76ers in this game. And then we got Hornets Heat. The Hornets are definitely an exciting team to watch. Um, what do you think about the Concanapa LaMelo Ball 3-point shooting?
The
Back and
battle.
forth. What do you think about that? That's so cool to have that competition in the same locker rooms. That's crazy.
As a like competitor and like athlete, them pushing each other the way they are, that's awesome. Especially as like young guys, that's
Yeah,
super cool to see. Especially in the extent of a season. Like
yeah,
normally it gets watered down. They're like, nah, we're just trying to
right,
make it through the season healthy kind of
right,
deal. So
right.
seeing them compete the way they are and like I think Canupa went up by like 1-3 now or something
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
But that's awesome. I love to see that. And I know I'm kind of like uh, glazing the Hornets right now, but man, I'm just saying they're. I
Yeah,
don't know. I like the way they play. I really do. Um,
yeah. I like the way they play too, and you could tell they're having fun. It's not just like we're winning and it's not enjoyable. They're genuinely enjoying each other playing hard. I saw a highlight of Lamelo pass up a fast break layup to go out to the three and and
I
catch
saw
it. You never see stuff like that anymore. And not to mention back in the
that.
day, you would be talked about ridiculously if you did some stuff like that. But I definitely enjoy seeing them play. They're young, they're energetic, they get after it, they shoot a bunch of threes, they throw lobs, they're in the passing lanes. Like it's really fun to see them play. So I'm definitely intrigued to see where they go from here. Um, but let's move on to the first round though. I gotta be biased and mention my Rockets. We got a Lakers first round. No Luca, so that should be interesting for sure. I feel like we should take care of them. I definitely feel like we've been playing hot lately. We just lost to the Timberwolves like 2 days ago, but before that, we were on an 8-game winning streak.
Oh yeah,
So I definitely feel like we're hitting the ground rolling.
yeah.
I feel like we are catching our stride. I think that the Lakers really, really, really need Luca because if not, you had to have LeBron, 40-year-old, be the generator of your offense. I definitely feel like that's not a key for success, especially long term in the playoffs. But I definitely feel like the Rockets should take care of them. I know that this is a new team and they haven't played with KD in the playoffs before, but I feel like that veteran leadership would definitely help them get over the hump, especially with the Thompson and Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr. They were in this position last year, but they weren't as competitive as they are now. So I definitely feel like having KD there in that locker room, steering them the right way, can definitely help them get over the hump for sure. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I really like the Rockets in this game, and it comes down to coaching in the playoffs. And I like Udoka or Udoka. I always say his name wrong.
Mhm.
I like him better than JJ Redick just because he's experienced. He's very experienced in the playoffs. He's with the whenever he was with the Celtics. They made a really good run and that kind of thing. So I really trust him a lot with this Rockets team. And you had mentioned it before that they were struggling without a PG that the Rockets were, and I don't think that's actually going to affect them that much in this game because of Luka being out. I think the Rockets. This actually kind of benefits the Rockets. Actually, it definitely benefits the Rockets because Luka's a smooth 30 plus a game guy. So where are they going to get manufacture those points? And yeah, I really like the Rockets in this game.
Yeah, I get that. Are you? I know that Luca isn't playing, so that's kind of bad for the Lakers. But if you're the GM, are you running it back with LeBron, or is it time to blow it up now that that could potentially be a first round exit, and LeBron isn't getting any younger? So do you roll with Luca in the future, or do you get rid of LeBron and try to get some picks or maybe some talent in free agency?
If I'm choosing between the two, oh dude, I'm sticking with Luca. Luca's got however many plus years on his that he still has left. LeBron, you don't know if he's going to retire next year, retire in 4 years. You don't know when he's going to retire. So that's in a way that's why I think they need to move on from him. I know we got a lot of flack in our video on TikTok. I don't know if you saw those comments there, but on our Lakers take, we got a lot of flack for our takes there, but I'll stand by my point. I think they need to move on from LeBron. A lot of people said that he has changed his game, but I haven't seen it the way that I'm talking about, and I'm sticking with my point. But yeah, I think they need to blow it up and let him hit the road because they'll definitely get picks for him. You know what I mean? Like picks, players, they'll get valuable pieces for LeBron. He's still a tradable asset, and I think they need to. I think it's time. I really do.
I agree. And with those comments, we're still standing 10 toes down on our comments, bro. Like if you have anything to say, feel free to comment. But if I'm LeBron though, I would want to leave. I feel like the Lakers aren't going anywhere. They're not helping me better my career. They haven't made really any drastic moves. I mean, Luca was a good move, but they haven't made any other moves to put us in championship contention. So if I'm LeBron, I would want to leave. But I mean, you got to think LeBron's a dad and Bronny's on the team, so that might be holding him back from testing the free agency waters. But if I'm the Lakers, I think it's a win-win. I think if you move on from LeBron, you get a lot of picks back. You get maybe a star, a younger star at that, to replace that void. And then if I'm LeBron, I want to go to a championship team. I want to go to somewhere that already has the pieces around me to where I could just come in and just put them over the hump and make them 10 times better. So I don't know. This summer should definitely be interesting as far as what these GMs do with these trades. I'm definitely interested to see. And then our second matchup in the West, we got Wolves Nuggets. Who are you leaning towards? What are your thoughts?
So I can never count Jokic out, and just in general, like just his gameplay and how dominant he is, you can never count him out. This is going to be a fun matchup, though. You got Anthony Edwards, and everybody loves watching him in the playoffs. I know I do. And then the Nuggets in general, I love watching how Jamal Murray plays. I love watching Jokic play. They're very knowledgeable guys about the game, and that's why I think it's so fun. Is because um, they know that every possession matters, so they treat it that way too. Um, I know that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, but uh, the way Jokic treats the game and how he's like every single play and every single breakdown, he's like analyzing it as he has the ball or is like moving the ball. That's insane, and I love watching that. So I'm kind of leaning more towards the Nuggets just because they've made it to the they've obviously won a championship, so I'll probably lean towards them a little bit. But I love watching Anthony Edwards. I will say that it's going to be good. That's a good matchup.
I feel like this Nuggets Wolves matchup gives us like vintage playoffs vibes, where it's like real competitive from beginning to end. It's not any blowouts. It's like coming down to the last shot each and every game. And that's what, as fans, that's what we want to see. We don't want to see blowouts in the playoffs. This should be the best of the best battling for a spot. But I don't know. I think Ant is And it's tough.
He's tough.
Granted, you got Jokic and Murray, and that pick and roll is unstoppable, but
Yeah.
down the stretch, I think Ant is enough to get you over the hump. And then you got Jaden McDaniels playing great defense. You got Randall on the offensive end. You got Gobert. We saw it last year. We saw how the Nuggets and the Wolves end up last year, and I think Ant really helped them get over the hump. And I think he's the key. Obviously, the star player, but I think he's the key to the Timberwolves beating them. Um, but I got the Wolves, man. I'm riding with Ant all the way. I know
I
that
love it. I love it.
Nuggets are a good squad, but I believe in Ant. I've seen him do it time after time. I've seen him go at stars. I've seen him not bite his tongue. I've seen him, have that fiery side. So I feel like this would be a good matchup, and I think the Wolves will go out there and handle business for sure. And then on the Eastern Conference side, what do you Cavs Raptors? What are you thinking? I didn't even think the Raptors. I mean, they have talent, but I didn't think they'd project to be this like playoff contention. I mean, you made a move from Brandon Ingram, but I didn't picture them getting the 5 spot. Like what? But what are your
So,
thoughts?
yeah, I like this matchup too. I'm shocked that they made it to be the 4 seed. I really am. Or 5 seed. I apologize. I said four. But I love. I don't know. I love this matchup as well, man. Just because the Cavs have been playing pretty well, but the Raptors are like a sneaky, sneaky, very sneaky team. So this is going to be a battle for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely feel like I mean it's cliche, but James
Yeah.
Harden has to be James Harden for the Cavs to even be in contention. I know he's helped them hit their stride when he won the trade, but I feel like if we get playoff James Harden, the typical go out there, maybe give you 2 or 3 good games, and then you give you 6 points in Game 7. I don't think that's definitely not a recipe for success. But I'm leaning towards the Cavs. I feel like they've been in this position many times before. The Raptors are new to playoff contention. I know they won a championship a couple years ago, but that's a whole different team. And I feel like this young Raptor squad isn't really prepared to take a playoff series and go on and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I feel like the Cavs will take care of business. But if they don't, are you sticking with James Harden or are you moving on? Or are you running it back? What are you doing?
I'm moving on. I
Yeah,
know that's probably quick, but again, he's getting up there in age too. He's still tradable. Might as well trade him while he still has some value. That's what I would do, or he maybe even be a free agent. But
yeah,
yeah, I would move on from him, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. I would too. I feel like this is like a trial period. They want to see what he could do. I mean, you didn't really lose a bunch. You lost Darius Garland, but he was hurt half the year. So I feel like it's kind of win-win for both sides. So I feel like this is definitely a trial to see how far this team can go. I mean, maybe if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, you might run it back, but he's not getting any younger. So, and then he's notoriously known for wanting out if things don't go his way. So, I think it'd
Exactly.
be a, I think it'd be a win-win if they get rid of him and get, a potential star back in the trade. But if I'm Donovan Mitchell, though, do I want to stay? You got rid of DG, then you get rid of James Harden. Like, what? I mean, what do I want to stay if I'm a star? I don't really know. Don't really know.
I don't either. I was actually thinking about that the other day too, because the one thing with Donovan Mitchell, um, I think he knows he's going to get the ball a lot.
Hmm.
Like he's that guy, and um, I think if they move on from James Harden, I think he really knows he's that guy. So, um, in a way, I could see him like wanting to stay because of that.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see both sides. But as a competitor, though, I don't know if I would want to continue to stay
Yeah,
with this organization. No, I'm not getting any younger, so I mean, I feel like I want to compete for a
for sure.
title.
Oh
But
yeah.
our second matchup, Knicks
Yes.
Hawks. What are you
Yes.
thinking? What are your thoughts?
So I I think the Knicks are kind of going to handle them in this series. The Hawks are really young. They started playing well here at the end of the season. They got my guy Kaminga, which hurts my heart. But they're using him right. They're actually playing him less minutes than he played with the Warriors, but I like the way they're using him. And I wish Steve Kerr would have done it. But overall, I love the Knicks. Like I said before, I'm a big fan of the Nova guys. I know I mentioned Jay Wright earlier, but you got Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. Love those guys, man. Love those guys. And then obviously you got Carl Anthony Towns. And so I really like the Knicks in this game. I like how they play. They're really tough, and they're not having to play as many minutes as they did under Thibodeau, under Tibbs, and I think that's going to benefit them tremendously in the playoffs. But we'll see. I'm excited for this matchup too. But yeah, I definitely lean more towards the Knicks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're suited for this. They made the moves that they made to be in a position like this to where they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I feel like the Hawks, you should take care of them easily and rest up to potentially play the Celtics in a 7-game series. But yeah, I think the Knicks should take care of them. But don't sleep on the Hawks though. They're young, fast paced. I like Alexander Walker. He's been playing well. I think he should get most improved. I feel like he he's always been this player, but I mean, obviously, when you go to the NBA, you have to play your role and you can't do certain things. But I think with the Hawks, it really brought out his ability to play making and create and get downhill and show his true ability. So I feel like the Hawks could get a game or two, but I definitely feel like the Knicks are gonna take control of the series early on and get them up out of there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Definitely. What are you? Who are your sleeper teams? Who do you think could surprise some people, or players that you think could surprise some people?
Um, I think you actually mentioned literally the main guy that I was thinking of. If the Hawks do somehow make a run, I think it's Nickeil Alexander Walker. And I love how he's been playing. I was reading some cool stats and stuff this week about him, but I really love the way he's been playing. He's been shooting the skin off the ball. Shout out to Colin. But man, he's been hooping, and he really gets to showcase his game that he never got to with the Timberwolves because Ant's touching the ball all the time. Which I'm not saying they should ever go away from that. Ant's obviously incredible, one of my favorite players watching the NBA. But he gets to showcase his play style with the Hawks, and it's benefiting him big time. But yeah, I really like him there. Yeah, that would probably be the main guy that I'm like sleeping, just like a sleeper kind of pick. I've also been, I also kind of like VJ Edgecombe. I wanted to get your opinion on him with the Sixers. He's played in 75 games this year, started all 75, but he's the other guy I kind of had in mind whenever I was thinking about a sleeper pick. What are your thoughts on VJ?
I like that. I think he's in a great position. I think you got Maxey was in his position a couple of years ago, was young and didn't really, was thrown into the fire and just had to find his way. I think he's a good role model to have like beside him. I think
Oh,
Paul
yeah.
George is good role model to put beside him too. I feel like those are two stars in this game that could teach him some valuable lessons that have him have a long career. But I like VJ. He's fiery. He can competes on both sides. Can shoot the three. Scores on all three levels. I think he's a promising future. I definitely feel like he'll be a star in the making. But
Yeah.
my sleepers will probably be Nikhil. He's been playing very well, and I think he's not really a sleeper, but Lamelo. Lamelo hasn't played on the playoff level. Nobody's seen him in playoff contention for a while, so I feel like when the lights are bright, I think he'll bring his A game and show you the reason why he's one of the top PGs in the game. I think LaMelo is definitely a sleeper. I don't think people are counting out the Hornets because they're young and they don't really have any experience. But I think LaMelo is poised to make an impact in the playoffs for sure.
Oh
For sure.
yeah.
He just has a
I
knack for the game. Like it's just like it just comes so natural. It doesn't feel like he's like nothing's forced. It's just like I'm just out here like I'm letting everything come to me. I'm making the right play every single time.
oh
Just
yeah.
yeah.
And his passing ability, I know Lonzo that way too, but LaMelo, like his passing ability, just because he draws so many guys too, because he does score so efficiently,
Yeah,
I love watching him pass. Like I
yeah,
think he's an excellent passer. That's like super underrated
yeah,
side of him, in my opinion. I know
yeah,
he's known for his passing as well, but
yeah.
I still think it's underrated because he's excellent passer.
He made one pass. I think it was like a couple of weeks ago.
Anyway,
Left-handed fast break, and he didn't even have to break stride,
that,
and it was a no look. I was like, "Oh my
that's
god!"
tough.
Did he just do that mid game? Mid game?
That's
Yeah,
so tough.
he definitely has a knack for the game. Shout out to LeVar. I mean, he raised his kids the right way. You can say what you want about him, but I mean, he has 2
I,
kids in the
I
league,
agree.
so you can't knock him
I
for his
agree.
parenting.
I
But
completely agree.
LaMelo definitely is talented for sure. Who do you think though? Give me your Eastern Conference Finals and your Western Conference Finals.
Ooh, my another sleeper player, but we obviously didn't talk about them because they're the 1 seed. But um, I can see the Pistons making it this year.
Mhm.
In the East, I really hope they make it, and I think they can make it. They have the pieces. Cade's been hopefully rested now, and now he gets another week right here, up until he gets at least week up until they play again. So he's got some time off, and I would love to see the Pistons, and then I still think the Celtics make it in the East. They're a good team, like they
Mhm.
just are, and that's obviously the 1 and 2 seed. So it's not like I'm picking some underdog there. Um, but on the Western side, OKC for sure, and then the other team that I kind of have in mind, and I know I kind of picked the Nuggets earlier, but I keep going back and forth with that pick, and I could definitely see the winner of that game making it, as well. But I think they play in the second round,
Mhm.
so I don't know. That's a tough one. Now that I'm thinking about that,
Yeah.
because I want to say they play the Thunder in the second round. So I'll go with man,
It's
that's
tough.
tough.
I'm telling you,
That's tough.
The West is tough, bro.
That's the toughest one to pick. Or yeah, that's definitely tough to pick in my opinion. Because I don't really know. Like you never know how the Spurs are going to do. Like I want to say the Spurs, but you never know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
They got so many young pieces. Don't know what happens in the playoffs. I definitely want to lean towards them, but I don't have full confidence in saying that at the moment. So
Mhm.
I would say probably if I had to pick, it would probably between the Rockets, T Wolves, or Nuggets. That would be like my next three that I would say. Any of those three.
Mhm. I agree. I think in the East, think the Pistons and Celtics. I mean, the Celtics are playing well, so I feel like, and they're in this position again, and with the same coach. So I feel like the Celtics will get back to that how they were at first. Um, but I feel like the Knicks could be a sleeper. But I think that the Knicks play if they win, will they play Celtics second round? I think so. Or will they play Detroit?
Yes, I think they
They play
played Celtic.
that'll be the series.
Yeah, I agree.
That will definitely be the series. I think
I agree.
obviously Boston has more depth than them, but I think that if the Knicks can find a way to steal a couple games, I think the Knicks can make a run for it. But so in the East, I got Detroit, Boston, and then in the West, I mean, I obviously got to go with my Rockets, man. I'm rolling with my dogs, regardless of. I know we're lacking a point guard. I know Steven Adams is out. I mean, I know we're dealing with a lot, but um, I got my Rockets in the West, and I got Wolves. I got Wolves,
Hey,
Rockets, and I need this revenge. I mean, I know Katie and Ant had developed a great relationship, but the way Ant getting KD's face in Phoenix, that just hasn't set well with me, and I'm still I'm still bitter about that. So I need KD to get his get back on Ant. I need that. I need that for sure. But yeah, those are my two, and then obviously we got to pick a champion. Um,
Oh,
Selfishly, I want to say the Rockets, but if we're being real, I can see um, OKC going back again.
yep.
Um, I can see the Nuggets going again. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Out of the East, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I-
But if I had it my way, I would want Houston to win. But if we're being
Yeah.
realistic, um, I think OKC can do it again. I think Boston has potential to win again. What do you think?
Yeah. I agree. I think it. I mean, I think it's OKC
Hmm.
again, and I hate to say that because I'm not a huge fan of the way they play all the time. I do like a lot of their stuff. I like Jalen Williams. I know I mentioned that before too, but I want it to be the Pistons. I know I'm kind of riding the Pistons too, but um, I would love to see Cade get in there. You know, just because they've experienced so much turmoil. Like just they have not won. They've been out of the playoffs for so long, and I
Hmm.
think they're due. So I would love to see them make it and win one. But if I'm being realistic, I think it's probably OKC or Boston.
I agree. I agree. This weekend should definitely be interesting to
Oh
see
yeah,
how it pans out. And I think this summer, I mean this whole weekend definitely dictates how free agency goes, what teams make moves, what team does what, and who goes where. So I feel like this should be an exciting week of basketball. I love it though.
oh,
We go straight from March Madness right into the playoffs. You can't get any better than that. I love
perfect.
it. I love it. What
It's perfect.
basketball head we didn't love this weekend? I love it. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I love
Oh
it. Yeah.
yeah.
With that being said, though, that wraps up our content as far as basketball purposes for this episode. You have anything you want to add to what we've already discussed, or you good?
No, I just wanted to say I picked the name "Survive in Advance" for this episode just because I mean it's fitting. Playoffs are starting. We just finished March Madness, and I love that saying. I don't know if you've ever seen the 30 for 30 of Survive in Advance, but man, it's incredible. It definitely encourage you to watch it. It's awesome. But yeah, Survive in Advance. That's all I have to say moving forward. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, and then as far as basketball related, we got the WNBA draft tonight, so make sure you guys tune in. We support women's basketball over here. It's not just I
Oh
know we talk
yeah.
about a lot of male like sports, but we definitely support the women as well. So make sure you tune in to the draft tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but before we wrap up, we always want to give a verse that has really resonated with us. Maybe we've had a bad week or a tough month, but I always want to share a verse because without God, none of this is possible. So, Caleb, I'm gonna let you go first. You can share your verse with our
Yeah, let
viewers.
me get
There.
Let me get my Bible. So it's James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. So this one, I thought it was very fitting for just like stuff going on at the moment. And I really love this verse too. Every time I read it, it makes me feel some type of way that I'm like, man, I can get through this. You know, when you're facing tough stuff and getting through tough stuff. But it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. So again, I love this verse, and if you all haven't ever read the book of James, I definitely encourage you to read it. You can read it in like 30 minutes. It's literally 5 chapters. But it talks about you being new in your faith and how you walk out your faith. And that's the first or the next two verses after it explains who James is. And that hits home with me, because like there's always times you're going through stuff and trying to get through stuff and it's hard and you're like, man, this sucks. Why am I doing this? But right there in James, it tells you find pure joy going through those trials, and I just love that. It definitely hits home with me, and yeah, that's why I picked that verse today.
I like that. I definitely feel like that's important for sure. Um, my verse comes from Psalms. It's Psalms 56, verse 3 and 4. It says, "When I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. and God whose word I praise in, and God whose word I praise. And God I put my trust, I should not be afraid. What can mere man do to me? And I know this resonated with me, particularly this week, because being a first year coach of an AU program is very challenging, especially doing it by myself. But this verse just reminded me that when I'm not necessarily afraid, but when I'm stressed or overwhelmed, I can just put my trust in Him and have Him fight my battles for me. I know I'm not alone. So this is definitely comforting in the fact that I'm just going through some adversity with this team. But I'm still grateful, excited for the opportunity, and ready to see where we go from here. But that verse definitely resonated with me. And even our viewers, if you are afraid or overwhelmed or life is really getting at you, I encourage you to read that verse. Or even just start with the Bible in general and just develop your relationship with God, because I promise it'll get better from here. But
Absolutely.
yeah, before I get emotional, let's what do you any other thoughts? Or you
No,
good?
I just want to encourage you all too. Like, if you all ever have any questions or do want to talk about, some stuff that we've said here, especially in this segment or any other segment, feel free to reach out, man. We're always here to talk, and definitely appreciate everyone tuning in. We're very thankful for you guys, and thankful that you all keep supporting us. We appreciate it big time.
Thank you. We love the feedback. I encourage you guys to follow us on Instagram. We're trying to reach 100 followers.
Hey,
Subscribe to us on YouTube. You can check us out on all platforms. They will be linked on our social media.
yep.
Thank you for the unwavered support, and thank you, Caleb, for sticking with me and doing this with me. Um, I thank all
Always.
our viewers, and we just launched merch. So if you want some merch, you want to support us, you want to get a T-shirt, a hoodie, be sure to check that out on our website. Then we got the QR code attached to this video. So be sure to check us out, subscribe, like, comment. We love art. We love debating. I'm here to debate in comments. We love all the support. With that being said, we'll catch you guys next time for episode 4. We may have a special guest, so stay tuned for that.
For sure.
But thank you for all the support. Catch you again next time.
See y'all.